Okay, here we go with part 2 of Avian X Goose repair. I'm Andy with Two Rivers Counterfeits Waterfowl Decoys. If you didn't need to repair your decoy, I decided to do this as a separate video, just as a part 2. What we did in the first video was we replaced the internal stake mechanism for full body Avian X geese. This part actually doesn't pertain just to Avian X's. If you've got floater geese or full body geese, either ones that have faded or chipped or broken flocked heads, or if you want to flock the heads in the first place, this is for you. All we're going to do on these, we're not going to do the whole body just yet. We're going to do the heads, then we're going to do the chin patches, and we're going to do the rump. So I've got another one here. I've actually got 2 decoys because you can't do this at the same time. You have to do either the head and then let it dry, or you have to do the rump and the chin patch, let that dry, and then come back and flock it. So the paint that we're going to use again for flocking is gloss, all black paint, either Rust-Oleum or this is Magic black, obviously for the heads and tails. And you're going to want to make sure that you have paint thinner because it is an oil-based enamel. So chip brushes, cut short, just like you've seen in some other videos. And then for the white, I actually use a latex paint. This is Bear flat, ultra pure white exterior flat, like $8 or $9 from Home Depot. It's just a good all-purpose enamel, and I actually use this over flocking as well. So chin patches on geese that have completely flocked heads. These are flocked, but they've only got the flocking up to the chin patch. The chin patch itself is not flocked, which is just fine. I like that a little better. It makes it pop a little bit more. So all we're going to do, and on lots of them, and I know that on real geese, and don't come at me in the comments here, but I've had several people that when I redo their decoys for them, geese in particular, they say, well, don't use white on the chin patch because the chin patch on real Canada geese isn't pure white, and it's not. It's really kind of an ivory, either yellowish gray or lightish gray. It's not bright, oh my god, pure virgin wind-driven snow white. And me personally, I want it white, and the reason I want it white is that contrast. At a distance, eyes pick up contrast. Your decoys need to be visible at a long distance. That's what makes the geese curious, makes them come in for a look. Your calls and your hide will finish the job for you. So no matter how good your decoys are, if your hide's not right and you're not in the right spot, it's never going to work. So I like white. If you don't, you can use, Parker makes a color called ivory. I've got some of that up there. You can use an almondish color. You can mix your own gray white. This stuff's tinnable. So go on into Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or whatever your local paint shop is, and if you don't like white, pick yourself out a gray or a cream color and have at it. Make them yours, make them fly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the cheek patches first. All we're going to do with the cheek patch is I'm just going to take this nice little brush that Santa Claus left in my stocking, and just exactly what it says, I'm just going to paint that white right over it. Make it nice and bright and clean. And the good thing about latex paint is this in particular, it dries really fast. So I'll be able to come back over and either put another coat on or come back and do my flocking here in about 15 or 20 minutes. It's February, it dries. It's actually fairly warm today. I think it's in the low 50s now. I should be ring perch fishing, but here I am messing with y'all and messing with these birds. Wife's at Costco, getting ready to make something delicious for a wedding this weekend. So there it is, that fast. Now down here on the bottom, you've heard me say before, use the biggest brush that you can get away with. I just happen to have this little 1-inch chip brush here, which isn't a very big brush, but it's big enough. And you can see there's a little bit of dirt and whatnot in it. Believe it or not, I've already power washed all these decoys off, so they're already cleaned. But all you're going to do is just come in here and I just hit that white up real easy. Now these bodies aren't fully flocked because the paint still looks good enough. I bought these off of Buddy Used. and they've been working great for me. So I'm not really going to mess with flocking them until they're so beat up that they start to look bad, and then I'll turn around and go ahead and start flocking them and everything. But I've got a boat to rebuild this summer and some house projects, and I'm still a husband and a father, so you know, one catastrophe at a time. That's it. Make that nice bright contrast, and if you get up in a drone and look at them, the first thing you'll notice is that white on the rump and that black-white contrast on the cheek. That's the first thing that you'll see from up high at a distance with geese. So we'll set that one aside. We'll go ahead and get our flocking ready. Now obviously you have to use different brushes because you got latex paint there and you've got enamel paint over here. So black. Now lots of people will do the tails too. And that certainly doesn't hurt anything at all. These don't have the tails done. And I don't think I'm going to do the tails today, but you certainly can if you want to. It's not going to hurt a thing, I promise. So a little bit of black, good stiff brush. And in this bin down here, in case you're new to the program, I have nylon, not rayon, nylon black flocking. You can get it from Flock It or Flocking Unlimited or Donger, all three suppliers. Some people buy it wholesale and resell it on Amazon. Just make sure whatever you get, it's nylon. You do not want to use rayon, or you will be doing this again in short order because your black flocking will turn yellow or pink. It will wash out with the sun and fade and bleed, and it'll just be a mess. But if you do it right, you use this oil-based enamel as your adhesive. Just go right over the old flocking, or if your decoys aren't flocked, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clean them really good, and you're going to want to prime them first with either Bullseye 123 all surface primer, which I've got a can of it down here. This stuff right here comes in a spray can, or Rust-Oleum self-etching primer. Either one of those is good for if your birds have never been flocked before. Spray you a good light coat of that on there, let it dry, and then come back with your and do your flocking, and you'll notice that your adhesion is way better. Painting is 90% prep and 10% execution, and that is a big step that a lot of people skip. And I actually have some decoys I did way back in the day before I knew how to prime and everything that I will be redoing this summer in a video series for the benefit of the viewership that will show you what happens when you don't prime them. I got 7 or 8 good years out of them, so it's not like it was bad. And I also do the opposite of what I tell all of my customers to do. I tell all my customers to bag their decoys separately in either slot bags or even use individual bags, and never let them rub together. And well, the people that hunt with me that have seen my mess is stacked like cordwood in the bow of the boat and drugged through the woods and beat and abused, and do as I say, not as I do. But I can also fix them. Not that I necessarily enjoy it. I don't hate it, but there are things that I could be doing right now with my time that would be more productive, like ring perch fishing. But here I am talking to myself in this little metal box, and all of you at home, on how to make a plastic goose look less plastic. Getting down near the bottom of that can, got a couple of little clogs down near the bottom. I got a little on the body there. You don't have to worry about being perfect. You can wipe it off if you want to, but these are my decoys and I don't care. It'll be just fine. Geese won't care. All right. Just want to make sure you got paint on everything. Okay, there we go. Good and coated. Now, again, if you're new to the program, nylon flocking is very toxic, so make sure you have some kind of face mask. An N95 is great. A NIOSH respirator is awesome. Just for the benefit of the viewership so that you can still hear me, I just use this little face buff. But when I'm actually in the shop going full blown and whatnot commercially, this is what I wear right here, with the asbestos rated filters and all that good stuff. So definitely a good investment. You only get one pair of lungs. Take care of them, and God, please don't do this in your house. Do it outside. I'm out in my shop in my garage. When you buy your flocking, you can do, God, I'll bet you can do 100 at least, 125 goose heads double coated with a pound of flocking, which is like 25 bucks in shipping. But make sure you get you a container so that you can collect the excess, and it kind of keeps it contained as well. That's what all is in all these bins you see scattered around me, is it's just different colors of flocking. And then you're going to need a flour sifter. Food Line sells them, Amazon, whatever. You don't want the kind you have to squeeze. You just want the kind that has a little wheel inside, which you don't even need. But you're going to scoop your flocking up with this and just use it to kind of sift it on there. So, bank robbery mode engaged. Inside here, I just have black flocking. And all you're going to do is take your bird, hold it over the bin, sift it on. Just like grated cheese at Olive Garden. Say when. There we have it. Lastly, I'm going to take my air compressor. And this will use compressed air to just kind of drive that flocking down into that paint. I'm on about 60 PSI here. After I do that, I'm going to come back and lightly dust it one more time, because some of that paint is soaked through and some of that flocking's been driven down in there good. So this will give it that nice top coat that'll give it a little bit more durability. And you always want 2 coats of flocking. Some people do 3, which I think is excessive, but 2 is fine. Much more durable. Looks a whole lot better. And make sure you use gloss paint. I don't know if I specified that exclusively or not, but you have to use gloss paint. Do not use flat. Do not use latex paint for adhering your flocking. Oil-based gloss paint. And there you have it. 1 goose, new steak, new haircut. Ready to do it again in the fall. Be here before we know it. Thank you again for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe. We've got a whole lot of videos coming up here in the next few weeks that will help you take better care of your equipment, as well as make decoys out of almost nothing for almost nothing. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.